Good day, everyone, and welcome back to the Mitchell and Tony Show. This is Tony, and I'm with
Mitchell.
yeah. This is the second episode. This is episode 2 of the Billionaire and Church Rat series, and so I know that episode 1 was a was a blast because episode 1 really opened our mind to the beginning of this series.
Yeah.
It was just basically like a recap of we just want to do basically a recap of what we talked about in musical in episode 1 because to refresh our memory on this series. We talked about the mindset, right?
Yeah.
The varieties in mindset, what different mindsets a billionaire has to what a church rat has, the way kind of questions one would ask in certain situations, how someone would think in certain way in certain situations. So we were just making a deep dive into what's it called, how each varies in mindsets. So
Just basically how they think, how one views problems
Yeah.
as dead walls, the other views problems as obstacles, while how one avoids risk, the other encourages it. Yeah. So for this second episode, we are going to be talking about habits and the daily routines of a billionaire and a church rat. You understand? So I'll just like to start this session with there's this quote from a book that I read, very powerful book, Atomic Habits by James Brown. By James Clear, yes, Atomic Habit by James Clear, that says you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. It's just like that. There's just so much beauty in that quote, you understand? Because it's one thing to say I want to be a billionaire, and it's another thing to create systems like billionaires do. So you're not rising to the level of a billionaire, you're just falling to the system that you have put in place, that you already have. Right? So I'm just going to give a quick recap of my own view. Then Tony gives a quick recap of his own view of billionaire and church rats daily habits. Okay, let's just start from the waking up period now. There are people that react to waking up, right?
Yeah.
So like, immediately they wake up, they stand up, and then they start rushing their whole day. Like from their morning, their entire day has been scattered. Let's say they have a lecture, so they woke up by 8, lecture is 9, and from the moment they woke up, right, they already they have started rushing. So it's just like their day was something like a mistake. Their day was something like a chain reaction. Like it didn't actually add up, right? Now there's another set of people that they plan the time they wake up. You get that vibes? Now before they woke up, they have already planned the time that they wake up, right?
Yeah.
They start their day with exercise, with reading, with all these good habits that build and all these things. Now the difference between the both of them is that one now, like their day has already been pre-planned. The other one now, the other one, their day was just something that happened by default. One happens by design, the other happens by default, right? And maybe you're probably wondering why all these things matters. But the thing is that in the long run, like if you're actually building something big, it's not going to be the gigantic houses or the gigantic buildings, all these things that matter. It's just all these small unnoticeable systems, right, that actually, so it's all these small things that actually matter, right? Things like reading, things like exercising, things like the type of content they consume. Now one of them, now you'll see them, they're always on TikTok watching dance memes. They can be on it for hours. They can literally be on TikTok for hours. They can be watching memes for hours. They can be on WhatsApp for hours, all this kind of thing. Now while the other one now can be planning a business idea, can be building himself, can be building his circle, can be scouting for more knowledge online. Now there's this thing that Jim Rohn said, that the reason why bad habits are so easy to keep is because you don't see a very tremendous amount of effect immediately you do it. And the reasons why good habits are also hard to keep is that you don't see a very, like when you do 10 press ups, your chest don't suddenly burst out. Understand? When you stay on your phone for 4 hours, not consuming valuable content, but rather watching a movie or just doing basically rubbish, you don't see the effect, right? So you feel like it's just harmless watching movies. But I bet you, do it again the next day. Do it for 1 week, right? And then do it for a month, and then do it for 2 months, then do it for a year. Like, you're going to be so, like, you're going to just be so, like, your brain is like literally going to be fried up. You understand? Your brain, like, the reason why I'll just say this thing again. The reason why it's so hard to neglect it is that it's just that, I mean, you just did it, like, you just harmless 8 hours on TikTok. Like, what the fuck? Who cares? Like, harmless 8 hours on TikTok. But there's something called the compounding effect. Everything you do counts, and they're adding up. And I bet you they are literally adding up. They are adding up. One on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. They are adding up. The things that add up are not just the things that you want to add up. Everything adds up. You understand? So now, when you're somebody that his day now is run by design, not by default now. Your day has been designed before you even woke up now. Once you're waking up, you know what next. Like, you know that once you're waking up, it's prayer. And after prayer, it's press up. And after press up is reading. And after reading is jogging. And after jogging is this. Like, your day has already been designed. You understand now? You're not going to see a very big, tremendous positive effect today. You're not going to see it tomorrow. I bet you won't see it next week. In a month, you might not see it. But just know that something is changing, right? Something is changing. And this thing now matters a lot when it comes to making money.
Yeah.
It matters a lot. It really matters a lot, because your entire system now just has, like, you just made a system that can keep on running, and keep on running, and keep on producing unlimited amount of money, right? Now, some people don't even have a system, right? That is why you see them, they can't balance things. They can't just balance their entire day, because their day is just run by default, not by design. You have to learn to design your day. Most likely a night before you wake up to that particular day, so that you won't react to waking up. You understand? Rather, you wake up proactively. Before you even woke up, you knew what you wanted to do. Not the person who wakes up and immediately he's waking up, he's running, or he just turns and pings his phone and opens TikTok and stays on that particular bed for like 2 hours before hunger hits him, and he stands up and he goes. Like, if your content is not something that you can be learning from, if your content is not something that you can be growing from, I mean, there are people out there with so much valuable content that has helped me so much in my self-improvement journey. I'm not talking about all these people that just create quotes and drop it and then they're getting likes. Not those nonsense. I'm talking about people that will actually sit down and tell you something insightful, something that will help you. If that's not the type of content you're consuming, and I'm not saying that should be the only type of content you're consuming, right? But you have to spend lesser time on your phone. Like I'm saying, if basically you want to stay 8 hours on your phone, let that basically just be the type of content you're consuming. In fact, you can't even, because by the time you spend that 8 hours, somebody will tell you the adverse effects of doom scrolling, and then you just drop the phone. Like, it has happened to me countless times. You understand? So, like, your daily habits matter a lot. You understand? So, like Tony, like, what can you now say on these habits of a thing? Like,
So yeah, for me, you said almost a lot about it. You talked about, how certain habits might not be seen as, problems in the short run. They might not be seen as any. They might not have vast effects to you, but then this compounds as times goes on. So yeah, you spoke a lot about this habit stuff, and then you're right. It's true. You made good points about it, but yeah, I would like to shed some light on certain things here concerning habits, right? So one thing I need to understand is that the beginning of every the beginning of every story, or every story's beginning has to start from somewhere.
yeah,
Do you understand? Every end of a story has to have started from somewhere. For you to get to a certain point in your life, you have to have begun from somewhere. And then what will drive those certain things, what will drive that start, is certain habits you're going to inculcate. What will continue to drive that starting point is certain habits you continue to inculcate, right? And one thing I understand about life is that every single thing is a repetition, right? Every success is as a result of repetition, something that was just repeatedly done over and over and over and over and over again. So those things that repeat itself over and over are just certain habits, certain systems that just keep on repeating itself over and over again. That's how powerful it is. So coming to the definition of what habit is just something that you repeat over time, basically. It's just certain characteristics or features of yourself that you continue to repeat over, certain activities you do over and over and over again. Now, why is it that you tend to form negative habits and not positive habits? Right? Negative habits in the sense the habits that will reduce the mind or the brain capacity of a human being, what I classify as negative habits. And then positive habits, something that will improve and enhance your mind, your brain capacity, as a positive habits. Positive habits that you want, first of all, grow in health, right?
Yeah.
You grow in wealth. These are activities that you do that will make you grow in health, grow in wealth, grow in understanding, grow in knowledge. This is a habit that you inculcate that will just keep on feeding you more, right, of good things, right? But then negative habits are things that will reduce and will make your lifespan more redundant, right? That will lead to negative effects on your body. So people form those habits more because it's more pleasant in the short term. Right? It's more pleasant in the short term. Basically, why is it that people form this? Because I said it's just more pleasant in the short term. But do you know that the moment you start to understand that your brain works for you, right? Your brain works for you. You tell your brain what to do because your brain doesn't know between the right and wrong. That is why it will do something that it only derives pleasure from. Do you understand? Your brain only works on dopamine. Basically, your brain is like, it doesn't understand right and wrong, like I said. So, for example, if somebody has sex, for instance, right, or he tries to rape a girl, for instance, the pleasure he will derive from it, your brain doesn't understand that it is wrong. You tell it what it is. You tell it that this is wrong. I should not do it, right? When you watch certain things that are not so pleasing to the eye, your brain in that instance is only feeling of the dopamine that you're feeling from that specific thing.
Okay, yeah. Like your brain is just like, it's just doing like basically what you think is right. Like your brain doesn't know what
is right or wrong, basically.
Like, yeah. So what you derive joy from, your brain will tell you that this is the thing.
This is it. Yeah. So you are not the one that tells it no, yes. So the moment you start to understand that I am in control, right, things will start to be clear to you. You start to understand that there are habits that you are doing that your brain is not telling you what it is. You're just feeding off the dopamine that you're feeling in that particular point. It's not telling you whether or not it's right or wrong. That's why you continuously do it, because your brain feels it is nice, or it has a nice feeling. It has a nice, the nervous system that makes you feel that certain way is active. So you're not when you understand that you are wired to tell your brain what to do and what not to do, everything becomes clear to you, right?
Yep.
You start to understand that habits is now what you tell your brain that this is right. And the more you tell your brain this is right, your brain automatically just clicks to that being right. And that thing that you do that is right, your brain doesn't understand it is painful or it's stressful. They just derive more joy from that thing because you tell it that's what is right or wrong. Do you understand? So you're not the one that will derive. So basically, what I'm trying to say is basically that if I do sports, right?
Yeah.
It stresses me out, right? Then your brain does not understand that stress to be negative or positive. You just understand that it's a stress. You're not the one that lets tell you this feeling that I'm feeling right now, I like it.
Yeah, even though it's stress.
Yeah, I'm happy. Your brain automatically thinks this is a good thing, this is a good feeling.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you're now even happier to even feel that and go through that street, go to that and you're not even happier doing what you love. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And the moment you tell your brain this is right, this is where I want to be, your brain just continuously tells you yes, it is right. You've said it is right, it becomes normal to you. Do you understand? That's just what addiction is all about. Addiction is like the first instance your brain thinks it is what feeling in that sense, in that and how it feels. You're not the one that tells you this is right
And this is wrong.
this is wrong. And then when you tell it is right, your brain wants to always do it every single time. Your brain now makes you understand that this is right. You can always do it. You become addicted to it because your brain thinks it's right. But then the moment you start to do, you know that this is wrong, right? Your brain shuts from it, and whenever you do it, you have this negative feeling towards it that will not even want you to make you do it again.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that's just the moment you start to understand that you are in control of how your brain thinks, right?
Yeah, like that guy that he basically lifted off a weight about 500 kg. They said that it's impossible for like a human being to lift that thing. But the guy said that your brain cannot differentiate between what's happening. So he just told his brain that I'm lifting a car off my kids, and the guy loves his kids with his life.
Sure.
That's like basically like what you're saying.
So it just basically tell your brain what to do. Not your brain should tell you what it is you're supposed to do. You tell your brain what to do. So your brain works for you. Your brain is like an AI that should work for you.
Yeah, that should work for you.
Do you understand?
Some people end up working
for the
their
brain.
own brain.
So now, this habit of a thing, what the brain now inculcates as habit is the things that he derives joy from. So he always wants to do it consistently. And when the moment he does it once, does it twice, does it 3 times, certain things become more of a habit. So now, understanding the first stage to actually getting a good habit is understanding that your brain works for you. So you tell your brain what it is and what is not.
Yeah.
Right? What is right and what is wrong. So now you cannot differentiate what is right and what is wrong from your personal feeling. This is right and this is wrong. Now, what you're going to come and tell you is these are the certain good habits. To now, it's not left for you to now understand that the positive habits that will what's it called, enhance your body, that will give you good feelings, that will give you positive feedback afterwards. And there's negative habits that would reduce the brain capacity, that will reduce your mental stress, your mental strength, you reduce your physical strength, reduce you as a person, and make you redundant. So now, after understanding that your brain is powerful and that you're more powerful than your brain, and you tell your brain what to do, you're now left with the chance of or the choice of the opportunity to choose between these positive habits. And then you choose between positive habits, and then you choose the positive habits. One thing I want you also to make you understand is your brain doesn't like doing things to the fullest. It doesn't like going 100 hours. Yeah. Your brain doesn't like going 100 hours, or the human body really physically cannot always go 100 hours doing physical exercises. It is physically draining. Do you understand? But you give yourself small time and max. Have you ever heard of the 20%?
80 to 20.
80%, 80 to 20%. What is it called? You do 20% effort. You make 20% effort to get 80% gains.
Of your results from 20% of your work.
Yes. So have you ever heard of that thing? So now imagine this: you wake up in the morning, you set a 1 hour time frame for yourself. 1 hour. Within this 1 hour, you are going to do exercises. Yeah. You're going to do what's it called? Mental
reading.
You feed yourself with information during that you read. You have your specific half time where you do all those things. You have small times within that 1 hour to do all these things. Yeah. And you just keep on doing it every single day of your life. It is much more better than you do it 4 hours of the day. You take 4 hours of the day to do those things, and you do it twice in a week.
Thank you. Yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you just now you've understood that your brain is now like you are now in control. So you tell your brain what to do. Now you have now picked positive habits. Now you're now working smart, using those positive habits and fixing it in those.
Because in as much as your brain is working for you, like every worker has their limits. Yeah. So don't overpush them.
Don't overpush your brain. Exactly.
Like this thing they say consistency over intensity. Yeah. Just an hour a day. Right. I was telling that guy yesterday about the 100-hour rule. Do something for 18 minutes every day, and it compounds to 100 hours. The guy was like, "That's no consistency." He doesn't understand that, bro. There's something called consistency. Consistency is not necessary. Like people, like I said in one of my videos, like discipline is overrated. Yeah. Because you think that discipline means going 10 hours a day. No. Discipline is you realizing that you have 7 days in a week and only 24 hours in a day. So if you bring out an hour in a day and do it for 7 days a week, that is 7 hours. And you have beat the person that said that you will do 10 hours in a day and only ended up doing it for 1 day. That is just basically the name of the game. You understand? You have to work smart, not hard.
Exactly. So now, I was going somewhere like, okay, now for example, I told you setting 1 hour, a 1 hour course or 1 hour time frame in the day, where the moment you wake up, right? You now set 1 hour for yourself, and between that whatever you're doing all these things, mental reading, you're trying to gain focus, right? You're trying to gain information. You're trying to exercise. So now within that 1 hour, you're setting 18 minutes for yourself to carry out certain tasks. Imagine you set 30 minutes of your time out of that 1 hour. You set 30 minutes of your time to do exercise. 30 minutes is actually a very small time, but then 30 minutes you cannot do what's it called all these certain workouts, like all you cannot make good use of all these workouts in that 30 minutes, right? You cannot do all of them in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Who told you that? Who told you cannot actually do all those workouts in just 30 minutes? You feel like you cannot actually do because 30 minutes is small. But you can actually do it. That is using the 20% rule to gain 80% result. So you're using 30 minutes of the time to make you're basically making good use of that 30 minutes to carry out all those specific tasks in that small 30 minutes. And you do it. So let's say, for example, now you're jogging on the spot, moving, like you know how someone just jogs for like what's it called? Just around a specific for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The person feels he has energized himself. But imagine if somebody does this now. She jogs, then he has within that 30 minutes, he has the time where you rest. Then the moment he jogs again, he starts to run. So he's increasing that physical himself within that 30 minutes. So he's jogging. He jogs once, then after jogging, the next round he increases his pace. Then the next round he increases it to the highest, the most he can do that day, and then just walks it off. That is like you are stressing yourself, right? You're getting even more healthier. That person is actually just jogging once. So that person that jogs 4 times, he feels energized, he feels okay. But you've done multiple things in just that 30 minutes. You've been able to gain a lot of things within that 30 minutes, and you just keep on doing it over. You see yourself increasing and getting much better in that certain thing.
Yeah.
You're just doing just the same thing all over and over again. For example, now imagine if I just kept on learning introduction to public speaking every single day. I was learning public speaking. I started learning public speaking. I was also only learning definition of public speaking every single day.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
you won't practically. You're learning public speaking, but you're not actually like gaining anything.
Yeah.
You're not improving. You're not moving on to the next level.
Like the thing that Jerome say, don't mistake movement for achievement.
Yeah, exactly.
Understand? You're just moving practically, but you're not
actually achieving anything. So, but the thing is, I'm trying to make is, you're going to now start. Okay, today, or let's just say today, I did what's it called? I ran this thing with this pace. I mean, the next day I want to be able to. So you're just basically testing yourself to just keep on improving. When you're not doing the same thing over and over again. So that was this was something I was taught. Right? I didn't understand this, but I was being taught it. I was taught it in was by a calisthenics teacher who called himself my coach, football coach. But he said he always made us understand that once you did jogging the first time you did, you walk it off. Then you go again. And then this time you're not going to do jogging now, you're going to do running. Right? You're going to be faster. Do you understand? Now you're going to actually be faster. Then once you now like run, and then you've ended up with the what's it called, the place, and you now go around, you walk it off, then you now start again, and this time you're not going to now start sprinting. So you sprint the whole field and come back and then walk it off and go back to your distance. So in that sense, you're actually improving yourself, getting better and better and better. If you just jog round and round, yes, you've walked.
Yeah.
But you cannot really test yourself on just doing the same thing all over and all over again, because you're doing the same thing all over and all over again. You can never know if you're improving or not improving. So that's just habits that you form over and over again. So habits should not be something that would just always reduce you to the barest minimum. It's something that just keep testing, improve you. Do you understand? What you're doing is exercise, right? Every single day. But this exercise is now, what is the exercise actually like? What are you gaining from the exercise? You're improving yourself, you're testing yourself more. You're showing that you're improving in that exercise. Now you're reading, right? Let's say the reading now, this time for reading now, you're reading, trying to learn a certain course, right? If you're always on introduction every single day, you're always learning the definition of that certain course, like I said. You're learning that course, right? You're getting to know that introduction all over and all over again. But really, you're not understanding what that, because there are different variances to that, and what's it called, to that course. There's different things that you need to also know from that course. So because of that, you're just doing the same thing, like you said, your movement, but you're not achieving anything. So that is what habits should be all about. Habits should not just be something that you do all over and all over again without any results to show for it. It's something that you do all over that tests you countless times. That every single time you do it, it's just testing you more and more, and pushing you to your limits. Right? You're just pushing not just to your limit, but it's just pushing you to see how far you can go. That should be your habits. So that's why I actually term positive habits to be something that pushes you to see to your limits, things that that pushes you to see how far you could go. That should be your habit. Those are positive habits that you should keep, right?
Yeah.
It's a positive habit. But if you do things that, what's it called, that that will just like
Deteriorating everything.
you're not testing yourself. You're not knowing.
Yeah,
You're just
okay.
always on the same
The
like
same
level.
thing. Yeah.
That's just is in as much as you feel like you're actually doing something, you're not actually moving. You're not actually going back. And like I said, one of the times I said this in one of the podcasts we had, I said that actually people who actually what is it called regressing and people who are progressing are even better than those who are not actually moving at all.
Yeah.
Do you understand? These people feel like they are actually moving. I know that I'm regressing in this certain aspect of my life. You understand? You know that you're progressing. But me as a person, I think I am progressing or I think I am regressing, but actually I'm not even moving at all. That's the worst
That's
feeling.
the worst. Yeah.
Yes, you're not telling yourself the truth at all, right? You're being blinded by, what's it called? Things that you feel like I'm doing the right things, but you're not actually doing the right. You're just kept in the dark. Those are the people that are even kept in the dark more. Because I believe that the one thing about if you want to move to the next stage, the first thing is confirmation. Where am I right now? You understand? But those people who are in the middle don't have the confirmation on where they are. So they're lost in thinking that, oh, I'm actually moving, oh, I'm regressing, but they're not just they just stood still in a specific musical place. They're not moving. So habits should propel you to a specific destination or a specific goal, an objective. I want to be like this guy. You see, this guy has muscles and everything. But then if you look at yourself, you're just doing the same thing all over and all over again. You think he's doing the same thing all over and over again, but if you look at it deeper, you see that he tests himself to certain limits. Let's say for an instance now, Usain Bolt. Do you think that Usain Bolt did not test himself before he went to the Olympic and broke the record?
Yeah, he tested himself.
Obviously, he tested his time, he tested his speed, he tested his movement, he tested everything. He always wanted to be better and better. Do you understand? He did not just run and run and run and run and run and did not what's it called, track himself and did not,
evaluate himself.
Do you understand? He did not do that. He did that. Obviously, he tested himself. He did not just think that he was good or think that he was bad.
Yeah.
He wanted to know where he was in that specific time with the amount of test he took on himself. Do you understand? And that was why he was able to break the record.
And excuse me now, there's this thing that just came to my mind when you were talking, like this thing about setting high standards now, right? If you set high standards for yourself and you fail, and you keep on failing, and you set very high standards and you keep on failing. Now, when you enter a room with people that set low standards, even if you're failing at that high standard, you're automatically better than them.
Yes.
You understand? It's just this thing you say that gave me the idea now. Let's say Usain Bolt kept on testing himself. He wants to run so and so kilometers or meters in so and so time. You understand? He can't. Every time he's doing it, he's failing. He's doing it, he's failing. He's doing it, he's failing. But when he now comes to where his age grades are, people that he's running with now, where their own standards were quite low. They wanted to run they wanted to run longer kilometers in longer time. Usain Bolt wanted to run shorter kilometers in shorter time, right? Automatically he will beat them. You understand?
This thing that you just said now, like I wanted to like, it just took me back to one reel I watched about a billionaire. In as much as a billionaire, we respect billionaires in this podcast. He made a reference to something about women and men and why he likes working with women and why he doesn't like working with men. He said men set unrealistic standards, unrealistic goals. Then he said women set realistic goals.
Yeah.
And he likes working with men because they tend to match that and objective.
Yeah.
But then if you see that the men that set those unrealistic goals, they end up feeling are not meeting that standard. You see that if they put them in the same room with those women that set those realistic goals, they are 100% better than those women.
Yeah, and then those men end up like being hard on themselves, right?
Yes.
Like, but that's just the thing. You have to set high standard because in as much as you think you are feeling, in your own mind you are feeling, but the real truth is that you are just getting better and better and better. Like that's just that's the name of the game.
This topic just take me back to what's it called, the first episode of this episode when we said women should not really set high standards. Now, and I also said that I said women should set high standards. But now, talking about this setting of high standards of a thing, you should not just be that the people that you're setting high standards should just be able to meet up those standards. You yourself have to also build yourself to that standard.
Yeah, to that standard.
Do you understand?
Yeah. You want a man who's earning 6 figures weekly.
Yes.
You can't be earning peanuts and want a man who's earning 6 figures weekly. Yeah.
So these are the things. These are those basically things that you need to understand. And for you to be propelled to that, what's it called? The habits that you need to inculcate.
Yeah.
Like I said, positive habits that will propel you to a specific goal. Like I said, habits that you need. Because for me, negative habits could also be running, right? Negative habits could also be exercising. Negative habits could also be mindless scrolling. Positive habits could also be mindless scrolling with the purpose. All those what's it called? Habits. In as much as we see exercising as a good treat, right?
Yeah.
You can also term it as a bad treat because once you don't have a purpose to why you're doing it, once you don't have like a next level thing to the exercise, right? You're not seeing yourself moving from that stage you are to another stage. You're just seeing that thing as an average. You're just seeing that as you're just moving, and you're not thinking to yourself that yes, I'm moving, I'm getting better and better. But no, you're not getting better. You're not testing yourself, and then you're mindless scrolling. You're doing it with purpose of just for fun. But then people are mindlessly scrolling for information.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So now you're seeing it as there's negative aspect to that thing and there's positive aspect. What's the positive aspect? The habit you are inculcating is propelling you to a specific goal, right?
Yeah.
But then the other one is just what.
He's not necessarily doing anything.
Not moving
for you.
you.
Yeah.
Not moving.
Yeah. You know the blog I posted today. There's this quote I ended it on that like it was so fucking. I said that the negative side of self-improvement is the positive side of life. Like the negative side of self-improvement is the positive side. That was basically what the topic was. The topic was the negative side of self. Like it's just this thing you say now just clicked it. Like all the pain you feel from jogging, right? All the pain you feel from exercising your body now. That is what is the positive side of life, which is a good physique, a good destiny now. All the pain you feel from, let's say, reading and being alone for a while.
Yeah.
That is the positive side of life. So the pains of self-improvement are the joys of life. You understand? So like this topic is actually like very particularly important. Like look how this thing is just like clicking. So another thing I want to add is this. When it comes to building habits, right? Please, there is no such thing as a habit system. Don't go online and look for a habit system and they'll tell you, look at your life, analyze possible ways you can get better.
Yeah.
Right? Then create systems that will make you to be getting better in those ways now. For example, my own system is wake up by 5, exercise, do this, do that, do this. And my systems now are tied to things. Like for example, I want to become very good in sales and persuasion. It's part of my system. Right? I didn't go online and somebody told me to learn sales. You just look at your life, look at the ways you want to get better, and then create systems around those routines.
Yeah.
You want to know more about money, you want to learn more about finance, create a system whereby 4 to 5 every day you learn about finance.
Yeah.
You understand? So you just need to start small. You understand? You just need to start small. No matter what you are doing, start small. Consistency beats intensity. You understand? Don't try to accumulate all the hours in a day. That's why you have weeks and months and years. God is not stupid. You understand? That's why you have weeks and days and months. So you can even do 30 minutes a day on a particular topic. A lot of people will think that is nothing. You understand? But now you consume knowledge on something non-stop for 30 minutes. In a week now, 30 minutes becomes about 5 to 6 hours. Mm-hmm. In 2 weeks, that is 12 hours. In a month, that is 24 whole hours. You understand? The thing is just accumulating. In a year now, we're talking about hundreds of hours. You're now a master at that thing. So like, you know, the problem I had with when I started is that I didn't acknowledge the fact that there are also other days in the week. There are also other days in the month. So I was trying to do everything in a whole day and I ended up wearing myself out. Mm-hmm. So that's why when we started this podcast, because of the things that I've learned, because of the things I now know about life, I said, let's be making it Wednesdays and Saturdays. The first instinct was every day. And I bet you, if you say that this podcast is every day, except for this marathon, this podcast, it won't have gone as far as episode 10. That's what I'm saying. Consistency beats intensity. I made my blog to be only on Sundays. I'm not done. Because I know that the me of before now, I'll use excitement and everything, and then I'll rush into it, and then after rushing into it, I'll not be consistent, and that is how the whole thing will just die. But now I've made it to be only on Sundays, and there is no particular way it will die. It might look small, four blogs in a month. Who cares? That is 8 blogs in a whole week. That is about 52 blogs in a year. So you need to just start small and be smart. You understand? Don't rush. Don't rush. When you're feeling that urge to rush, you hold yourself back. When you get a book, start with a page. Don't say I'll finish a chapter today. Say I'll finish a page today. Then when you now finish that page, now this is how self-confidence is being built. Because when you can actually keep to what you said, bro, there's this thing that it does to your body. Like, you kept to what you said, right? For example, now you said I'll finish a chapter, and then half of the chapter you're already getting tired. Quarter to half of the chapter you drop the book. But there's this thing now, you said I'll finish a page today, and you finish the page, bro. Your self-improvement, like your self-confidence has just improved. That's how to build self-confidence, by keeping commitments to yourself. You understand? Before you can talk about, because if you can't keep commitments to yourself, you can't even talk about keeping commitments to others. No. So you need to keep commitments to yourself first. I will do this thing today, and you will do it. You understand? That is how self-confidence is built, bro. You understand? So start small. Start with things that once you start, you know that yes, I can actually do this thing. Let it be small. Let it not be intensified. Let it not be adrenaline or whatever. Just that is discipline. That is what all these people on TikTok, guys, what they never told you about discipline. You see them, all these things that you are doing. They never told you that you should just start small. You understand? Because when you're seeing them all big and all that, you think that they started big. No, they started small.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just want to add to everything that was. It's not really an add, and I just want to advise basically everyone that's on this journey. Having listened to us on the first podcast, on the first episode of this podcast, or this marathon, when we talk about the mindset, for you to understand that the moment you're on track to believing in that, having that billionaire mindset, you are setting free of the weight that was placed on your brain. Right? On your mind, basically. It's something that is being lifted, and you're now having an open mind, right? Now you're not in the quest for more knowledge. Right? You're now in the quest of, I want to know more. Curiosity now is making you to know more. And then the moment you start to know more, your brain becomes wider and wider and wider and wider. You keep on getting information. So your brain keeps on expanding and expanding. And because of that, information that you've gained before will just get lost in your brain. Your brain cannot really carry everything, because it's now, I know, a billionaire mindset is open to a lot of things. And because of it's open to a lot of things, it's just like a big void, and then just information just keeps on dropping inside. So you are going to get information is going to definitely lose you. Yeah, you're going to like get lost in your brain. So the advice I'm going to give you as a person is get the habit of always writing, jotting down something, jotting down information. Because the truth about the fact is, the sharpest or a blunt pen, right, or a blunt pencil is sharper than the brightest mind.
Than the most retentive memory.
Yes, than the most retentive memory.
That in school one day.
In as much as it's just a quote that you've heard, right, out there, it's actually very important, because jotting down something is actually like very, very important. You don't have to carry everything in your mind, because there's a lot of things that you're going to carry in your mind as a billionaire. There's a lot of information you're going to get, right? And then it's not good to get good information today and lose it tomorrow because another good information came. Do you understand? So why don't you jot it down? Because it goes as far as you can always recall it even after 10 years, because you wrote it down. Right? You write it down. Have a personal journal. I think Michelle has stated on this podcast that you have to have a personal journal. Have a personal journal. Write your things down.
Yeah.
The things that you forget, definitely. Information that are very, very good, that will help you. Very valuable.
Because if you've ever done this thing where you just like actually read through your journal of information, bro, you'll be like, this thing is top class knowledge.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, I'm the one that wrote this thing down. Like,
exactly.
Sure.
So this thing has happened to me countless of times, and the only saving grace was that I wrote them down.
Yeah.
Right. Today I was going through I was going to the book that I had from before I came to UNED. This book had so much information concerning the course that I was learning, or concerning the field of study that I was studying, and I was like, guy, this is so nice. Like, it was me that wrote this thing down, and I'm proud of myself because I was able to retain that knowledge with both a book and a pen. Do you understand? in as much as I wasn't carrying everything in my head, I was writing down because it was, and the feeling that you are the one that kept to this information, you've been able to give to that information, right? That's just good. Like, there's this nice feeling that you get from it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So always learn to write it down. Make it a habit. Make it a because this kind of habit will always propel you to the next stage. It's because habits should help you to improve.
To improve.
Writing down will always help you to improve. It can also be the solution to the problems you're going to face in the future.
Actually.
So you have to learn to write things down. Learn to jot. You don't have to write the whole episode of it. You just jot down the key points of certain things, right? This is just one habit that you should learn. Writing and jotting down. Just learn it. Just have it. Just have that habit to always want to jot it down. You understand? It will go far. It will go a long way in your improvement journey.
Yeah, and let me just share this key secret that I used to build many good habits in my life. You understand? It's called habit stacking, right? Habit stacking. Stacking a habit on top of an already existing habit. Let me give you a practical example now. I wanted to start learning sales. I started this 100-hour rule thing on May 1st. So it wasn't an issue for me, right? So what did I do? I stacked learning sales after I wake up, I do 20 push-ups. After 20 push-ups, I learn sales, right? Push-ups was not also in my daily habit. But I now linked push-ups to prayer. Right? Prayer was there already. Prayer was not so there. So like, if you just want to build habits, right? Just have one. And then you can just keep on stacking them.
Yes.
Stacking them. But like before you stack, you don't stack a habit that you have not cemented.
Yes.
Yeah, because the link will not be weak. Right? Because at the same time, this thing is very good, and if done wrong, very bad. Because you can stack habits.
You can make it the last chain. Again, you make that cemented habit the last chain.
Yeah.
And then every other thing should now come first before that thing.
Yeah.
So you're not doing all those things with the idea that at the end of the day I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So that's
because if when this thing is done wrong, like, you can have a bunch of good habits that you're stacked to a weak habit.
Yeah.
So when you don't do that weak habit now, when you don't do that your so-called habit now, all those your good habits now end up falling off the chain.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to have a very strong habit. In fact, most of the time, it's according to what the book said. The book didn't necessarily say a habit. The book tied it to like things that are inevitable in a day, like taking your bath or brushing your teeth. I will do so and so thing after I brush. You understand? In case you don't have any strong habit yet, I will do so and so thing after I eat breakfast, something like that. After I take my bath. You understand? Because these things now in a day, they are inevitable for some people, sure. But they are supposed to be inevitable in a day.
Yeah.
So you just link it to things that in a day they are like inevitable. So yeah, this habit stacking of thing, thank God I even remembered it, because it helped me a lot, right? And it will also help a lot of people.
True. So like Michelle said, now habit stacking, that is a very important phase. Yeah. Having habit stacking. Now, as I said in the beginning, like I said at the point of this podcast, I said having a specific duration in the morning after working, having a specific duration, and having to do all these habits in that duration within that specific hour. Time yourself. Give yourself 1 hour. I wake up in the morning and I have 1 hour to do everything to myself. Let's say I wake up by 5. From that 5 that I wake up to 6, this is what I want to achieve. Right? It could be from 5 to 6:30, no matter whatever hours, right? But don't make it so much. Now within that 1 hour, I want you to divide it. I'm not going to tell you 30%, 20%. No, I'm not going to give you how to divide it. You are not going to choose how to divide it, right? You now divide it. Now within those hours, you maximize every single habit you're going to do. Like just said, habit stacking. Make the habit that you feel like is much cemented it last. Don't make it the first, because if you do that the first one, then you might not feel the urge to do those other weak ones.
Yeah.
So do those weak ones first. They make that cemented one the last one.
The last one, yeah.
Do you understand? So that is what you should do. Then it should not be within this time frame or within this time period. So you're going to be the one to divide your time. Do you understand? These are the things I will basically advise. Whenever you wake up, let's say 5, let's say 6, let's say 7, whenever you wake up, but a little bit, a little rise. So, and it's a very good saying. So if you wake up early as 5, have this 1 hour 30 minutes, and divide your time, and then place certain habits that you feel like set positive habits, right, within those time frames, right? Like Kesina Mitchell said, make the cemented one habit stacking the last one. Do you understand? Then every other thing should come before, so that you know that you're working towards that goal. So you are basically, you know, when your brain has a goal, it always wants to work towards it.
So all those things are just small tasks
to be done. You feel like there are certain, like the stairs. I want to get in my room, so I have to climb the stairs.
But in the long run, these are actually positive habits that are building you.
Yeah, they're just building you. Now within those time frames, you're doing these certain habits. Now these habits, like I said, positive habits, they're propelling you to a goal at the end of the day. So it's just something that you improve. So make sure that all these things you do is testing. Right? You are gaining, you're going to be seeking more to want to get better at that specific thing. So let's say you are learning a course within that time. You are starting from introduction. Then you want to now give yourself, you now go to reasons why. You now go to, how to relate with people based on that discourse. Certain things you're improving every single day. You understand? You're going to week 1, week 2, week 3, week 3. You understand? You're learning certain words each day. You're giving yourself today word of the day, right? You're also praying. You're reading this hours. You're doing all these specific things within that 1 hour 30 minutes, right? And all these certain small tasks you're doing within this 1 hour 30 minutes, they are testing you, right? Every single day you are testing yourself on that thing, right? Within that 1 hour 30 minutes. It might be small at the end of the day, but guess what? It's a very powerful tool, very powerful action that you're taking, right, to get into a better place. Do you understand? It might be small, but guess what? Every single tree you see today is as a result of a small planted seed. Do you understand? Every single big tree that you see today, how big it is with its branch and its fruit and whatever, every single thing you see today is as a result of a small tiny seed
that was
planted. Do you understand? So yes, 1 hour might be small in a day full of 24, right? But guess what? 1 hour in 300 times 360, that's how many hours?
That's basically 3,650 hours.
Do you understand? So you're looking at hundreds and hundreds of minutes, hundreds and hundreds of seconds, of milliseconds in a day that you're gaining. They are just getting better and better and better and better and better. Do you understand? So yes, in as much as 1 hour is small, it's just one. Right? If you break it down, it's actually a very powerful time frame, right? That you just keep on doing every single day of your life. You just minus 1 hour to your personal, to just learning something. You don't have to go 9 to 5. You can just spend 1 hour doing that certain thing and getting better every single day. Just consistently doing 1 hour. So yeah, that's just the advice we'll give you. Certain choice that you need to set yourself. Now this is a challenge for you. You have to set that 1 hour for yourself. Put whatever habit, like we just said, have a cemented habit, and then every other weak habit should come within that time frame, right? And then you're meant to, like I said, you divide it by yourself. I'm not going to tell you how to divide it. You divide it yourself. Now you do it every single day of your life, right? Then if you might not see the changes today, you might not see the changes tomorrow, like we just said, you might not see the change after 1 month, you might not see the change after 3 months. But just know that you are changing yourself. You are getting better. Right? That's just this for today.
And I bet you, it's the most liberating feeling. Honestly speaking, it's the most liberating feeling. Like, if you start this thing, like, bro, you're going to feel, you're going to see a new method of living life that they never told us in school, they never told us at home, they never told us basically anywhere, right? So that's basically a wrap up for this second episode. Gosh, I love this episode so very much. So this is the Billionaire and the Church Rat series, the 10-day marathon. Today is the second day. Another one will be dropping tomorrow. Let's get your thoughts on the comment section. Have a very wonderful day.
Yeah, peace.
Peace out.